It's the beginning of a season that dreams are made of. Near Minginoo, about 300 kilometres north of Perth, Jeff Cosgrove is preparing his paddocks for seeding. He gives the start to this grain growing season a 9 out of 10. He's had good opening rains and has stored water in the subsoil. But it's the sky-high price of canola which he's particularly excited about.
I suppose the last 6 weeks it's just sort of started a steady climb, and basically every day you think it's got to the top. A couple of days later it jumps another 20 or 30 bucks. So yeah, we were pretty excited coming into the season, in February, March when it was over 600. We thought that's pretty positive. But yeah, it's obviously recently hit near $800, which is for GM canola, which is basically unheard of.
Michael Lamond is an agronomist who collates data from across the WA grains industry every month. He's expecting WA growers to plant their biggest winter crop this season on record.
It's just very rare to have an early break with subsoil moisture, and when you have that, of course, you've got a lot of confidence in that the outcome will be, your yields will be above average. And then when you combine that with the good prices, it's just a very unusual situation, and it's one that everyone's trying to make the most of.
Michael Lamond says the canola crop alone could be valued at over $2 billion. Canola is worth about $200 a tonne more now than it was fetching 12 months ago.
It's around about the second highest it's ever been. In 2006-2007, the price was around $667 per tonne. It peaked at that. And in today's dollar terms, that's about $8.54. So it's just under that. So it's the prices that we're getting for canola at the moment are the second highest ever on record. And that's fueled a lot of the extra canola area that's gone in.
The response from farmers has been a swift change in seeding plans. This year, WA growers will plant their biggest canola crop of more than 1.5 million hectares. At the Cosgroves farm, they've expanded their canola program.
When it got to 700, we'd had some good rain, so we went ahead with our full canola program, and then we sort of stretched out a little bit and put an extra. I think we planned on putting about 2,000 hectares in. We ended up putting 2,400 in, so yeah, we chucked another 400 hectares in at the expense of a couple of wheat crops.
And comfortable with that decision now, a few weeks on?
I am now that it's all out of the ground and looking happy, and the insects seem to have buggered off, so we're not under attack from them, which is positive. And yeah, the soil moisture is very good, and we've actually started spraying it, spraying the first round of glyphosate across it in the Roundup Ready canola.
Tony Seabrook farms at York, east of Perth, and heads up Farm Group, the Pastoralists and Graziers Association.
Well, the good prices are the sugar on the cake, the icing on the cake. Across the board, prices are strong, and canola in particular. We haven't seen a time when all grains are selling as well as they currently are at the moment.
It's not boom times, though, for everyone in WA. It is dry in some of the more northern parts of the state's grain-growing region. Farmers there are waiting for the season to break, hoping they too can cash in on the canola market. Canola is used to make cooking oil, biodiesel, and is a protein source for livestock. Canola prices across the world have spiked because there's a shortage of vegetable oil and oilseed stocks, which includes crops like soybean, sunflower and canola. Demand from China is up. It's projected to account for 60% of global soybean imports. And that's good news for Australian farmers, even with the current trade tensions. But it's not just China influencing the market. US President Joe Biden's green agenda is pushing a focus on renewable fuel production using oilseeds. The weather has also been a factor. It's been dry in key growing areas like North America, Europe and Canada. Canadian farmers are the giants of global canola production. They grow on average about 20 million tonnes each year. But this season, with reduced supply and increased demand, Canada was forced to import canola from Ukraine.
Well, it must have been a pretty bitter pill for the Canadians because they've been a key supplier and driver of canola prices around the world. But that is an indication of the absolute shortage of oilseeds, and canola is an absolute classic oilseed crop. And for the very first time in Western Australia, it's not just a break crop, but it's a profitable break crop.
How long can the canola market stay so high, and whether or not to lock in prices on a crop barely out of the ground are the big questions for farmers. For some, frost later in the year will be the biggest risk to production, while the prospect of another dry finish to the growing season in WA could also spoil crop potential. But for now, as farmers finish sowing their crops, they're continuing to enjoy watching global grain markets.